Hello, hockey fans! Welcome back into the neutral zone. Right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. The holiday's over, so that means we're back at it. Adam and Zach, we're going to be breaking down the NHL Draft, NHL free agency, who has done well to this point, who has chosen poorly. Also, there's some new blood entering the hockey game. Coming out to Lake Tahoe, coming 2024, Tim Tebow is starting a hockey franchise in the ECHL. However, they need a name, they need team colors. Zach and I will help as only we can in this endeavor. And finally, it's Realignment Week here at IE Sports Radio. We're going through some proposed realignments around the various North American sports leagues. So naturally, we're going to take a look at a proposed NHL realignment to close out the show tonight. All that, plus we'll see whatever else there is going on in the hockey world. This is the Neutral Zone. Buckle it on up. Let's go. And once again, hello and good evening, everyone. I am Adam Kartik. Zach Puplis is along with us as well tonight. Welcome back into the Neutral Zone. We are squarely in off-season mode at this point, and we have got lots of off-season things in plan for you here tonight. We will discuss the draft that was, free agency that has been and is still ongoing, because there are several notable names still available in free agency. Patrick Kane being one of them, though that's not a surprise, honestly. We've got a new team coming out in the minor leagues here in about 14 months or so. We will be discussing that and then going through a proposed realignment around the NHL circle. So lots in store for you here tonight. But first of all, Zach, how you doing, good sir?
Oh, fantastic. How are you, Adam?
It's Tuesday. I'm up. I'm sure to have a lot more fun doing this show than I had doing Chi-Town Weekly last night. So,
ooh, yeah, with all the Northwestern stuff, I'll bet.
Yeah, that was... yeah, that was a very meaty, newsy show last night. This is going to be a lot more fun. This is just going to be a lot more analysis, silliness, wackiness, zaniness, you know, our usual brand of show here.
Woo!
We promise to stay on the rails tonight, right?
I make no promises.
Okay, good. There we go. And, of course, before we get too much further into everything, IE Sports Radio, of course, has been around for the last 9 years, bringing you the best of entertainment, ranging from interviewing legendary athletes to bringing you tailor-made shows all across the sports landscape. And we just keep coming. Thank you so very much for continuing to support us over these last 9 years and to continue to support us for however many years are left in the future. We enjoy it. Ways to interact with the station. You can find us on all the social media platforms, be it Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, for as long as it's not dead. You can search at IE Sports Radio. This show is also available to you at IESR Neutral Zone. Zach is at The Puplis. I am at Adam_Karnik. Those handles, of course, are all Twitter handles for as long as Twitter still exists and is a thing, which may not be much longer. And if you're listening live here tonight on this Tuesday night, hop on into the chat room. We find Larry B. and Taryn Rodriguez already there. We are Taryn's lunch break from work. Well, let's see. I guess it'd be dinner break because it's 6 o'clock over there in California. So we're his entertainment during we're his dinner entertainment tonight, Zach.
Ooh, a dinner show. Dinner and a movie.
Yes, the dinner show. Yes. And Larry is very excited about the Tim Tebow news that's coming later. And he also is encouraging us, first of all, to stay off the rails. And he wants us as raw as possible tonight. So we've got that. So we've got that to live up to. So if you're listening here live on Spreaker, hop into the chat. We can interact and have some fun that way. Or if you're listening live, if you're listening later on, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, however you're taking us in, we appreciate it. So thank you for being here. Well, Zach, let's start things off with the more traditional hockey stuff. We had the draft and we've had free agency. So what have been your takeaways so far from both of those now that the draft is done and the initial free agency wave is done?
I'm going back through our mock draft we did, and I'm actually pretty impressed with myself for being the first time doing a mock draft. I wasn't far off on a lot of these, actually.
Yeah, I got more than one. I was thrilled. It's a blind squirrel finding a nut kind of a thing.
Right. I got, of course, Connor right. I got Will Smith right. David Reinbacher right. Had Fantilli and Carlson just flipped. I had Dvorsky, Leonard, and Mitchkoff all in the same neighborhood, basically. Let's see. The Dmitry Simashev, either they come out of left field with that one, or we just, seriously undervalued him because he went number 6 and I had him going 25th.
Yeah. You mentioned and you brought up that the Fantilli and Carlson flip. That's actually kind of where I want to start because, of course, Bedard went 1. We all knew Bedard was going 1. But right after that, the draft to me became interesting. And I know that Larry and Taryn are Duck fans, and this is going to come off like I'm picking on the poor Anaheim franchise. But I can't help but feeling like the Ducks made a mistake at 2. I mean, Adam Fantilli was such an obvious choice to me at 2. He was this was the Connor Bedard draft, but Adam Fantilli was the best guy in this draft, not named Connor Bedard, and the Ducks passed on him. Did they make a mistake? Do you think they made a mistake?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he was the best collegiate athlete out there. He won the Hobie Baker and everything. Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you.
And a mistake might be a little harsh. I mean, it's not like Leo Carlson is a bad prospect. He's a great player, great forward. Should certainly be quality for Anaheim. It's not like they took somebody. Okay, Larry's bringing up the Raiders, so I can go with me on this. It's not like they took Sebastian Janikowski in the first round. It's not like they took a place kicker in the first round here.
Yeah.
They took a really great hockey player that should do really well for them. To me, it felt like, especially in a style of draft like in the NHL, or like what we just saw in Major League Baseball over the weekend where you're drafting guys that you know in all reality you're not going to see them for 2, 3, possibly even 4 years if you ever do see them. It really behooves you to emphasize taking the best guy available. And the Ducks didn't do that. They took a good player, but not the best guy.
True. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, there's two schools of thought on that. I mean, you look at the NFL draft and any kind of coverage they do on the website, for instance, will say, hey, best player available is XYZ, so-and-so, and then the flip side of that is the best player available at certain positions. And it's like, and then you look at that team and, okay, well, which positions are they lacking in? And then there's a third aspect in the sense that, does this person fit our culture? Do they fit our organization really well? Or are they a fish out of water? So maybe they, I mean, if you look at the top of this draft, I feel like Leo Carlsson would have been probably top 5 anyways. And so maybe it was just, a personal opinion that they liked Carlsson better than Fantilli.
Yeah, there's certainly an argument to be made for that, hey, they did take the best guy available. They had Carlsson rated higher than Fantilli on their board.
Sure.
Therefore, it just feels to me like then their board disagreed with a lot of really smart people who do this for a living. Sure. Not that the Ducks don't lose for a living, obviously. That's literally the general manager's most important job. And it's comparisons with the NFL draft are always so hard because in the NFL, literally the guys that you're taking are going to be called upon from day one to produce. There are a handful of guys here in the NHL, Connor Bedard, of course, being one of them, that, yes, they are going to be called to produce from day one or very soon. But a lot of these guys, Adam Fantilli, is he going back to Michigan or is he going to enter the minors? Is he going to enter the NHL right away? So, is Leo Carlsson going to come over right away or is he going to stay in Sweden? You may not see some of these guys for a couple of years. So it's hard to compare to the NFL in that regard. The NFL draft is just its own, such a unique thing in that regard.
Yeah. Well, and, we talked about all those different aspects, like best player overall, best player at that position, best, cultural fit with your organization. But then I think the thing that would trump all of that is if this player, like you said, Connor Bedard, for instance, or, Bryce Young for NFL, is this person ready-made, ready to go, ready to, plug and play from day one? Like, I think that would trump all the other aspects.
Yeah. So I'm going through the Sporting News, their list of winners and losers, and they list the Philadelphia Flyers as winners from this draft. If for no other reason, they got Matvei Michkov. Michkov, we had talked about him before the draft. He wound up falling all the way to 7. I had him going 2. I was crazy and silly and dumb, and I had him going 2. And
sure,
because the Ducks went ahead and ducked, I still got the Adam Fantilli pick right. So woohoo! Thank you, Anaheim.
Nice.
But
that was another one. I had just flip flopped. I had Ryan Leonard go to the Flyers and Michkov go to the Caps, and they just flip flopped.
I love that pick for the Flyers. I know that Philly is going through a really rough stretch. As you just listen to Cash and Chris on right before us on Tuesday nights as they talk all things Philly, and they do the world famous Flyers Minute. And yes, they'll give excellent analysis, but it's usually with the caveat of, yeah, the Flyers suck. So they're going through a really rough patch, but I love that they got Michkov. Yes, you're going to have to be patient and wait for him, but he's going to be such a fun and good player for them once he gets stateside, once he finishes his KHL contract. They do then list our favorite franchise. The Arizona Coyotes get mentioned, and spoiler alert, they're not listed as winners. The big complaint there was that the defense for Arizona already seemed to be somewhat shored up, and they went ahead and just continued to make a strength and went defensive men in the first round, where there were so many good quality forwards that it feels like they reached in the first round a little bit.
Sure.
Now, I don't know. It's again, you always want to go best player available, and like we talked about, like you brought up with the Anaheim pick, if that's how they had their board, that's how they had their board. So you want to. Oh, I was hearing myself echoing there through the show a little bit, but you always want to stay true to your board as a general manager, and if your board had those guys there, then I guess that's how you want to go. But it still does. It feels a little odd at that point to be making such a point of emphasis about defense when there were just so many good forwards in this class.
Yeah, I mean, look at your needs and see where you need to improve on. That's the first thing I would do.
If there's a place to stock up, though, I mean, defense isn't a terrible place to stock up.
Yeah, true.
So any other takeaways for you from the draft? Or are we ready to kind of get into free agency a little bit as we welcome Cale Henderson, host of Sin City Sports, into the show? He's got some thoughts on the reigning champion Golden Knights for this offseason.
Well, I'm looking at my mock draft here for the first round, and not too bad for the very first time. I mean, there was only 5 players that I didn't have on here at all. And then everybody else was in different orders. Probably some of the best runs were Samuel Herhansik and Braden Yeager. I had him going 15th to the Preds and 16th to the Flames. Well, Hanzik went 16th to the Flames, and Yeager went 14th to the Penguins. So that was really close too. What else? I think Chicago was definitely one of the biggest winners for sure.
Bedard. I mean,
yeah,
you got Connor Bedard. You got the next Connor McDavid. The other no offense to the other 10 guys that the Blackhawks drafted. They took the easy one. They took Connor Bedard, and Kyle Davidson now is immortalized on a shirt. I can't remember. We talked about the video that he did right before the draft, right?
Refresh my memory.
Oh, where it was another hockey podcast was doing man on the street interviews and unknowingly grabbed Blackhawks general manager Kyle Davidson and started interviewing him, wondering if he knew anything about hockey. And he played along beautifully with the whole thing.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Oh yeah, I think I didn't see the whole thing, but I remember seeing a link for it.
It was well played, sir. Well played. He now has his own shirt from Chicago-based Obvious Shirts that just labels him as Kyle from Chicago.
Oh gosh, Did he finally fess up at the end or not?
He did not. He stayed in character the whole time. The podcast realized it after the fact. It was great.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Chicago's a big place. If you don't see a person regularly, in the news or on TV or anything, you could easily mistake him for somebody else.
Well, and he wasn't in a suit. He was in a t-shirt and a ball cap, wearing the ball cap backwards too. And I think he's 32 years old, and he looks like he's not a day over 17. I mean, he looked like just a college kid just roaming the streets of Nashville. So he was easy pickings, and he played along beautifully with it.
That's awesome.
All right, so let's take a look then. Let's jump into free agency a little bit. Who have you liked so far in free agency? I know you've got to be excited about some of the moves that your general manager in Detroit there, IESR's been making.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely a homer pick, but yeah, definitely the Red Wings. I liked a lot of the pieces that they got from some of the other teams. JT Comper from the Avalanche, Daniel Sprong from the Kraken, who beat the defending champ Avalanche. Who else? Well, especially DeBrincat, the one that just got signed. Now he was with you guys. How long was he in Ottawa? Was it a real cup of coffee, or what was it?
It was a season or two at the most that he would have been in Ottawa. It was not terribly long. That was a recent trade. As I'm pulling up his numbers right here so I can reference. At most it was 2 seasons in Ottawa, and I don't even think it was that long. He was 1 season in Ottawa.
There we go. Okay, yeah, because I remember you rant and raving and how good he was in Chicago.
Oh, excellent. He one of Patrick Kane's favorite teammates to play with, Alex DeBrincat.
Nice. Yeah, just the 1 season in Ottawa last year. And yeah, being from Farmington Hills, I mean, it's definitely homecoming for him. Like we joked about earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, if you're not Swedish and not from Michigan, sorry, you can't play for the Red Wings.
Yeah, those are the rules. And if you're a Swede that relocated to Michigan, well, then that's just bonus.
Well, yeah, true.
But I mean, DeBrincat last year was a down year for him in Ottawa. He only had 66 points, only had 27 goals. But you're talking about, this is a guy who already has scored 40 goals in a season twice in his NHL career. He's got 2 40-plus goal seasons, and he's got a 30-goal season already, and he's all of 26 years old. He's not even 26 yet. He's 25. He won't turn 26 until December.
That's wild.
Yeah, he's going to score his 200th goal this season. So it's an excellent pickup for the Red Wings there.
Yeah. This is someone I saw on Twitter. His media availability notes. On his call with Yzerman, they chatted for a few minutes, told him he was really excited to be here. He's in the metro area now and is super excited to be back. His family is very excited, confident he can get back to 40-goal form. They need him to keep growing as a team and put in the work. He will be wearing number 93. He says aggressiveness isn't a huge part of his game, but he doesn't mind, or he doesn't back down and can hold his own. His favorite Red Wing memory, winning in 2008, was really invested in that team and was fun to watch as a kid. Wants to be successful again. Been back in Michigan for the last 3 or 4 summers, knows a few of the guys. On his contract, 4 years worked out best. Lets his agent deal with that, and it seems like a good fit. Leadership is huge in his game. He started playing in Farmington when he grew up there. He still trains at the Victory Honda Arena. Favorite player when he was younger was Pavel Datsyuk. Yeah, and all kinds of more details.
Yes, but good things there. Good things going on there with them. We also.
What about you?
We had Aiden Hutchinson re-signing with Vegas. What'd you think of that? personally, I liked the move. I feel like it makes sense. It's a smart play for both sides.
You mean Aiden Hill?
I'm sorry, Aiden Hill. What did I say?
Hutchinson. I'm like
Aiden Hutchinson. That's a football player. Never mind.
Say that. Well, I was like, are we still in Detroit?
apparently, I stayed in Detroit. I apologize. Aiden Hill.
Yes.
Aiden Hill staying in Vegas. I like that signing. I like the move. It wasn't a huge money deal, but it seemed smart on both sides.
Oh, for sure. I mean, just looking at his play through the playoffs, I feel like somebody was bound to offer him something. I mean, just because of, he came out of nowhere and you let him do a Stanley Cup. Of course he's going to get a good deal.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was definitely going to get paid, but
there or elsewhere.
Yeah. But staying home, staying familiar, that I like that signing. I like that move. I like that move very much.
Yeah, I feel like it sets them up for the future very nicely. They, between the end of the Fleury era, like when it was kind of between him and Leonard, and they were kind of feuding almost, and it like ever since then it's been a little up in the air. So it gives them good stability going forward, I think.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like Fleury back then, like Fleury was always the number one. But then, Leonard started to push him, and then it became okay. If you have two goalies, you don't have a single goalie at all. That kind of thing.
Right? Yeah, that kind of thing. Some other goalie talk. Freddie Anderson is staying in Carolina, while Jonathan Quick is going to the Rangers. For Jonathan Quick, it's a 1-year vet minimum, not vet minimum, 1 year, $825,000. What do you think of those moves? The goalie market in free agency this year wasn't very strong. I mean, Hill, Anderson, Quick, those were probably the biggest names in this market. What do you think of those two?
Sure. I'll focus mostly on Quick just because he's the one I know the most. But from all of his days at the Kings, he won the 2 cups there, and I guess now he's got a 3rd cup after winning with Vegas.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he was. It's easy to forget he was there.
Yeah, he was. What was he, 2nd or 3rd string behind Aiden Hill, and now going to the Rangers. There's a long, nice pedigree with the Rangers with Henrik Lundqvist. Who do they have now? I'm forgetting his name, but he's definitely solid depth right there to add to their team.
Yeah. Oh, they've got. He will be the backup. You're right. Yeah, because the Rangers. Of course, now that I have to say it, I can't come up with it, but yeah, the Rangers have one of the best goalies in the game right now. So yeah, they're Igor Shesterkin is just so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jonathan Quick is clearly there to be the veteran backup to make 20 some odd starts at the most.
Yeah. Well, and Shesterkin's 27 and Quick's 37. So if nothing else, he's got he's the veteran presence there to just keep things stable and on the level.
Yep. Couple of names still out there though. Real quick, and then we're going to take a break. We got a few big names still out here. Patrick Kane, Jonathan Taves, Vladimir Tarasenko, Matt Dumba, Thomas Tatar. So some big names still out there. Anybody that you're looking at just, where are they going to go?
Well, I guess I got to go with your boy, Patrick Kane.
Yeah.
Do you think he'd stick with New York, or where do you think he's going to go?
I'll be honest. Now, Kale brought up that he thinks that Vegas could retool this offseason. I've always felt like Patrick Kane in Vegas would just it's too obvious to me. It's just always felt like those two would be a good match to have Kane out there in Vegas. I don't know how on earth Vegas would make the money work. Another place to me that could be really interesting to see Patrick Kane would see him go back home to Buffalo. You know, that's where he was born and raised. That's where he grew up. That was
true. Yeah.
his team growing up. It'd be interesting to see if he would have any interest in any kind of a homecoming. He's not going to be available to play until probably November. He had a surgery this offseason. That's part of why he's still on the market. In fact, it might even be December until he's back. So that's some of it, I think, that's keeping him on the market.
Yeah. He's no longer on the market, this one, but some of the Detroit podcasts were frustrated about it. Bertuzzi, is it Tyler Bertuzzi?
Mm-hmm.
He left Detroit and had gone to Boston, and I guess one of the reasons he left Detroit, he was looking for something like a longer term deal, but now he's with Boston, and he got picked up by Toronto for a 1-year deal. It's like, I thought you wanted a longer term deal, bro. Like, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth at this point.
You got to take what's available. You got to take what's offered to you, though.
True.
You know, if nobody's offering you long term, hard to sign a long term deal then.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. What about Taves? What do you think about him?
I think he retires.
Okay.
He hasn't said it, but I think Jonathan Taves retires. I think that's, or he might kind of just stay in shape and wait in the wings and wait for somebody to get hurt and sign a 1-year deal to try to win one more cup before sailing off into the sunset. But
yeah, I mean, he's already got a sterling resume as it is.
Right. Yeah. But I don't think he's any more than a third or fourth line center at this point for anybody. His best days are clearly behind him.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's kind of like, Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets. Like, does he still have the drive? Does he still want to play? Like, so on. Yeah,
and with Taves, we don't even know if he does at this point. We really don't. So it's hard to say at this point. So I think he retires. I think that's it. I think that's what ultimately happens with Jonathan Taves. And I will have a tribute to him on Chi-Town Weekly when that happens. So
I think the next biggest one is just Tarasenko, like trying to figure out like where he might go.
Yeah.
He's been with the Blues for so long. It's like I almost don't, I can't associate with anybody else. It feels like.
Yeah. Even though he was last with the Rangers, believe it or not. But yeah, you hear Vlad Tarasenko and think Blues.
Yeah.
I think St. Louis Blues, and I think U.S. Olympic team making every single shootout goal for an hour.
Oh, gosh. Forgot about that.
All right. On that note, let's take a quick break. And then when we come back, so we like to mix sports on this show a little bit, in case you couldn't tell by some of this dialogue we were having, because we like, as you sometimes hear in our promo, we know that hockey's not everybody's first sport. Well, we've got a heck of a crossover story from you. Tim Tebow is becoming a hockey owner. We'll have details on that, plus some ideas for him and the team coming up next. You are listening to the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
IE Sports Radio fans, it's your boy, the SoCal Saint, the host of the premier professional wrestling podcast online today, the IE Elite Wrestling Show. If you're a fan and have a passion for the world of professional wrestling, this is the show for you. I take you inside the ropes with all the athleticism, high-flying, and hard-hitting action, and then we take it backstage with all the backstage drama and backstabbing that goes on in the world of professional wrestling today. If something's going on in the world of professional wrestling, rest assured, the SoCal Saint knows what's going on, and he's going to let you know too. If you're a fan, check us out every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, only on IE Sports Radio. The IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling, on the only network that is your direct feed for all that is sports. Check us out.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Lava.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreak ISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
If you thought the first half of the NASCAR season was wild, you haven't seen anything yet. Catch all of the exhilarating NASCAR action from the final 20 races of the season, all on USRN. From the push to make the playoffs to the 10-race postseason gauntlet and the crowning of a new NASCAR Cup Series champion, it's all right here on USRN.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour, every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR. And you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter. At any time, be happy to reply. Always willing to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back into the Neutral Zone on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Back here with Zach and Adam. We got some fun cross-sport talk to keep going with Tim Tebow. It looks like he's going to start up a minor league franchise at Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, Lake Tahoe, Nevada. So, Cale, I know you're getting ready to do Sin City Sports here in about 15 minutes. There's going to be another major hockey team in the Nevada area. This story was announced yesterday afternoon. Greg Wisniewski on ESPN is the story I'm looking at and reading. The East Coast Hockey League Board of Governors has approved the expansion application for a team in Lake Tahoe that will begin play in the 2024-2025 season, so roughly 15 months from now or so. The franchise will be owned by Tim Tebow, the 2007 Heisman Trophy winner from the University of Florida and one-time NFL quarterback with the Denver Broncos and the New York Jets. He's not, as with any team, he's not the sole owner. David Hodges, CEO of Hodges Management Group, is a car dealer and real estate investor from Georgia, is also going to be an owner on the team. This Lake Tahoe team will be the 29th member of the ECHL. Can't say I'm thrilled with 29 teams. That's not only is it an odd number, that's a prime number. So there's no way to divide that up evenly. Quick, get another team. Get us to 30. But they're going to play in the Lake Tahoe Blue Event Center, which is a brand new arena that can seat over 4,200 people in State Line, Nevada. And the center is set to begin operations even yet later this month. So they've got that there. And we've got a quote here from Tebow. I love that sports can bring people together from all over to enjoy camaraderie, competition, and community impact. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be part of a group bringing hockey to the Tahoe area for fans and families to create memories for years to come. It also, the story mentions that Tebow has previously been a minority owner with the ECHL's Jacksonville Icemen and Savannah Ghost Pirates. So he's got a little bit of experience with some ownership, but now he's going to be the primary owner. Now here's where this gets fun, and Larry's already jumping the gun a little bit with some of the fun. Larry is saying that Tebow's going to be out on the ice playing. Here's where it gets fun for us, Zach. The team has yet to decide on a name, colors, or logo, and will work with fans in developing them. We have to help them here, Zach. What suggestions would you make for name, colors, and logo? And any other suggestions you might have for them?
I think the obvious answer is a Tim Tebow silhouette as he's doing the little Tebow pose on his, the one knee.
I agree. If that's not the logo, him down on one knee, his forehead planted firmly in his fist. I also think that should be required, that for every player, when they score their first goal, that's how they celebrate.
Right. little bit harder on skates.
Oh, I think it'd be fantastic on skates because then you get the image of them floating across the ice while doing that.
Yeah, I guess now that you say that, yeah, I have seen players do that before.
That would just be so cool. Larry also suggesting that Tebow should be the one to drive the Zamboni.
Oh my God, yes. The colors I think need to be blue and orange, and out of the Gators.
Okay, so the light blue, so not the Denver Bronco blue and orange, but the Gator blue and orange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from the swamp and from Steve Spurrier days and such.
Okay, well that would fit because Lake Tahoe has had some previous history with having a hockey team. They had the Lake Tahoe Blue, who were later renamed the Tahoe Icemen, that played from 2013 to 2018 in what was the Western States Hockey League. That was a junior hockey league and is now defunct. But so yeah, going with a blue color scheme that would fit in with the history of Lake Tahoe too.
Yeah.
No, Larry, I do not own a Zamboni.
And we're just spitballing. I didn't realize there was a history behind it that would tie into it.
It would fit very well with the history. Yeah, the blue and orange bit.
Well, hang on though, but it's East Coast Hockey League, right? So why are they having one west of the Mississippi if they're East Coast Hockey League?
Well, this is not the first team to be that far west. In fact, it will help make the geography a little bit easier.
Okay.
Lake Tahoe will become some natural rivals for the Idaho Steelheads, the Utah Grizzlies, and, quote, the entire Mountain Division, according to ECHL Commissioner Ryan Krellin.
Nice. Now, there's a Henderson team. Is that ECHL or is it AHL?
Say that again.
So the Vegas Golden Knights, they were sharing a minor league affiliate at one point, but then they got their own in Henderson. Is that ECHL or is that AHL?
Oh, the Henderson Silver Knights? They are part of the American Hockey League. So
they're with the Griffins. Okay.
Yeah, so for those that don't know what we're talking about here with AHL and ECHL, we're talking minor league hockey. It's still professional hockey. It is major hockey. It's not junior hockey where your youths are playing it or semi-professionally playing it. This is still major hockey. It's affiliated. It's better regimented. The American Hockey League, the AHL, would be the equivalent of like AAA if you're looking at it from a baseball perspective. The East Coast Hockey League is AA, if you will, one step below the AHL.
There we go. Okay, that helps. Thank you.
Yeah, you and I would both know this team well. The Kalamazoo K-Wings, they used to be in the ECHL.
Okay. What are they in now, or do they go defunct?
I'll have to look what they're in now. I don't think... Let's see, the Kalamazoo Wings, they are still in the ECHL. I stand corrected.
Oh, okay, cool.
So that level of hockey that you're talking there.
Gotcha. So like Red Wings and then Griffins and then beneath that would be K-Wings.
Correct, yes.
Gotcha.
Larry's suggesting that I have a Zamboni as my winter drive to work. It's not a very fast ride, but there is something to be said for knowing that no amount of snow would hold you back.
Right. Excuse me, we don't live in Winnipeg.
Right. It only looks like that sometimes. Sometimes it looks like dealing with feet of snow.
Yeah.
I agree, though, that the Tebowing would have to be the logo for the team.
Well, either the primary or the secondary. If they didn't choose it as a primary, I could see it being like a shoulder patch kind of deal.
Oh, heck no. I want that being the primary logo. I want that image emblazoned right in the middle of the sweater. Total ego trip. And the funny thing is, Tim Tebow, at least in his professional persona doesn't come off as having a big ego, so that would be totally not a thing you'd see him doing.
Right. What makes it even better then.
Right, exactly. He just does a complete heel turn here.
Right. I'm just infatuated with the name of the Savannah Ghost Pirates.
I know, right? That's one of the great things about minor league sports is you get some awesome names.
That's kick-ass.
The Ghost Pirates. The Griffins.
Yes.
The Wolves. Okay, yeah, Wolves. We all know what those are. But
the Ice Hogs.
Ice Hogs, yeah. You get some great... Because clearly when you think hockey... You think swine. I mean, the two just naturally go together so well.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I think if I... All right, here you go, Mr. Tebow. If I had a minor league team, I think I would go with the Abominable Snowmen.
Nice. Of Pasadena.
Oh, yeah, of Pasadena. Right. Because
Throwback to the hashtag Goosebumps.
I forgot about that book. Because clearly when you think Nevada, clearly you're thinking snow, clearly you're thinking hockey.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you have to now. They're the defending champs.
Absolutely. Absolutely they are. And well-deserving at that, too.
Oh, yeah.
But, yes, I saw that story come across yesterday, and it was just... I loved it. Tim Tebow, he's no longer broadcasting, no longer playing. He tried one last attempt to become an athlete again, and now he's going to just own athletes instead.
Well, I mean, he was quarterback. He, like you said, the last ditch. So Broncos, then Jets, and then the last ditch effort with the Jaguars.
And he tried to become a baseball player in the middle of it there.
Yeah, I could totally see him playing a little bit of hockey.
Yeah, absolutely. He'd take one good hit and then go, you know what? I'm good, thanks. I'm fine. I'm done. Take one good shot from an enforcer, and that would be it.
He'll say, I'm too pretty for this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't. I like having all my teeth. Thank you.
Right.
All right. And Larry's suggesting that they simply be named the Tebows.
Well, obviously.
There you go. The Lake Tahoe Tebows with Tebowing on the middle of the sweater. I love it. it. And the Florida Gator colors emblazoned. The only problem with the Florida Gator colors is they're very similar to the Edmonton Oilers colors.
Oh, yeah, true. Well,
So
I mean, they're minor league. They can be affiliated with the Oilers. Why not?
Well, that would be the thing. If they were to become an Edmonton affiliate, then it could work. Otherwise, it gets a little weird.
Yeah. True.
Oh, now Larry's trying to come up with extra things for Tebow to branch out to next. Next, on the extra mile, Tebow drives NASCAR.
Ooh. Has he thought about crypto?
Don't think about crypto. That's exploded. That thing burst. You want to stay away from crypto. All right, so, well, we had the realignment map, but I see the clock. We're not going to have time to get to it because we got to get out of here because Sin City with Kale is coming up right after us, so we got to get out of here. All right.
Well,
that was a very different kind of show, wasn't it?
It was refreshing. I like it.
Yeah, it was refreshing. We get to sit back and chop around a couple microphones for a little bit. Thank you to Larry B. for all the hard work he does behind the scenes here at IE Sports Radio for making this network, this station possible, everything that it is. Thank you also to Larry B. and Tan Rodriguez and Cale Henderson for hanging out in the chat room with us. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Finally, thank you, the listener, for hanging out with us, whether it was live here on Tuesday night or if you were listening later on in the week as a podcast thank you for making us part of your sports week. You know, you got a lot of options, a lot of choices out there, and we're glad that you have decided to make us part of your routine. It really means a lot to us. Thank you very much. For Zach, I am Adam. We are the Neutral Zone. Coming up right after us, of course, it is Cale Henderson of Sin City Sports, talking all things Las Vegas. Who knows? He might talk a little bit about the Lake Tahoe Tebows and what will be upcoming in that neck of the woods here in a little bit. Far more likely, though, I bet he's going to be talking about his Raiders, probably some Las Vegas Aces, since they are just absolutely destroying the WNBA right now. Looking like they are clearly going to win another title. Until next time, stay healthy, stay safe, light the lamp, stay out of the penalty box, protect your 5-hole. And Zach, what else do they got to do?
I think you got them all. You said light the lamp already.
You want to light that lamp? And, of course, have your sellies and your one-timers.
There we go.
Until next week, we'll see you then, everybody. Have a good night.